Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another video tutorial on jQuery UI in the Beginners for JavaScript playlist. Now in the previous couple of video tutorials of this playlist, if you've been following this playlist, we are going through a lot of widgets in jQuery UI, and initially obviously we started off with plain JavaScript, vanilla JavaScript, then we moved on to jQuery and then jQuery UI. So in this video what we're going to be taking a look at is the concept of interactions in jQuery UI. Now just like widgets, interactions is a feature of jQuery UI. And the way it is different from the widgets is, in widgets we get some new user interface, that is we are getting completely new custom components. So if you've watched the previous video tutorials, you can see that we got the date time picker, we got the message or dialog box, we were getting the accordion and whatnot, So those were completely new redesigned components or widgets you can say, which were provided by jQuery UI. Now interactions are different. In interactions what we are doing is we are basically modifying the way we interact with the web page. Okay. So quickly let me just show you the official documentation page of jQuery UI. So if you visit their official website, that is jQueryui.com, you can see there are interactions and they are separated from the widgets. So we have the widgets over here and then we have some interactions over here. So in this video we are going to be taking a look at the draggable interaction. So just click on it, and what this interaction does is it helps us make a particular element, HTML element, which you can see, to be able to be dragged onto the entire screen. So as you can see right now, this is an example. You can see there is a text over here which says drag me around, which means that I can take this cube and drag it onto the entire surface. So this is a feature which is added to the current HTML element itself, right? So we are not modifying the look of the HTML element. So we are not having an accordion, we are not having a text box which is modified, or we are not having a message box, or we are not having a date time picker right now. What we are doing is we are modifying the existing division. So this is basically a division. If you just view source, you can see this is a division and it has been given some custom styling, which is having a width of 150 pixels. So that's why it is 150 pixel wide, and it is having a 150 of height. So that's why it looks like a cube. Okay. So this is basically just a division. But the reason why we are able to drag it is because we have added a new way to interact with this HTML element. And that is what interactions is all about, adding extra features to the existing HTML elements to make it more interactive. Now this draggable, droppable, resizable, selectable are all such interactions which we will see in this video tutorials as we move ahead in this series. And let's actually get ahead and start off with the draggable one. And I hope you have understood what are interactions, basically the way we interact with the web page. And these are some inbuilt features that are provided by jQuery UI to make the user interface more interactive. Okay, so coming to our code, what I've done is I've added two divisions with the class of cube. So you can see this is division number 1, this is division number 2. Inside that I have a heading tag which says cube 1. So you can see in the output, and then we have cube 2. And the reason why it is a square shaped cube with a blue background is because in the styling, that is in our custom style.css, I have addressed this class cube. I've given it a width of 100 and 100 pixel. I've changed the background to aqua, so that's why this blue color, and then padding and margin is added. So that's why there is a little bit of spacing between the two cubes or the two divisions. So let's address these divisions as cubes only from now. And then we have the entire template of HTML which we've been going throughout the previous video tutorials also. So we have all the CSS styling for the jQuery UI. This is our custom style.css, and below we have the jQuery core library. So this is that, and then we have the jQuery UI library. So it should always be below jQuery library, right? Okay, so this is something that you already know. Let's move ahead and add that draggable feature to these two divisions or to these cubes. So right now if I try to drag them, nothing is happening, you can see. So in the script tag, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these two divisions by using the class selector. I'm going to say dot cube and I'm going to say dot draggable, and that's about it. So this is one single method, just like we were doing in widgets. We have inbuilt methods in jQuery UI for interactions also. So this one single method, which is an inbuilt method in jQuery UI library, will add this draggable functionality to this element, whichever element has this cube class, okay, because we are using this selector. So now if I go ahead and you can see, if I try to drag, we are easily able to drag and drop it anywhere. And right now we can actually drag and drop it on any part of the screen. If I go down, you can see the scroll bar is activated. If I go to the right scroll bar is activated, and so on. I can actually maximize this web page and I can play around with these cubes. And if you're wondering where exactly these kind of features are applied, modern websites, advanced websites, wherever there is high interaction. For example, let's say you have a calendar control wherein the entire calendar is taking the entire web page, and then you are dragging and dropping some task onto it. You must have seen this, right? If you see the user interface of Google Keep is an app. You can drag and drop stuff onto it. You can also create some interactive games with drag and drop features, right? So yes, modern websites do use this drag and drop feature a lot. So coming back to our code, along with this draggable functionality interaction, we can add a little bit of more customizations. So again, customizations, just like the widgets, are added in curly braces in key value pairs. So let's add a few customizations. Let's see what we can do with this draggable feature, and let's see how we can enhance it. So the first option or first customization is the axis. Okay. So this axis specifies on which axis do you want that particular element to be draggable. So here we are applying it to the cube. So what we are saying is the cube will be draggable only on the y-axis, that is top to bottom, not left to right. So let's see if this is applied. So coming to the output right now, if I'm trying to move it to the right, it's not moving, you can see. But if I move it up down, it's easily movable, which means that it is only activated on the y-axis and not on the x-axis. Similarly, I can change this to x, and now the cubes will be movable only on the x-axis, that is from left to right, but not top to bottom. Another option is the containment option, that is containment parent. And there are some other options, that is some other values also, predefined values. I'll drop a link to the entire API documentation where you can find all these options and all the values of these options if you want to know more about it. But right now we're going to be sticking with parent. So what this does is, coming to the web page, now I cannot go beyond this entire screen. You can see I'm trying to go, but the horizontal scroll bars are not coming in. And same applies to the y-axis also. Let me comment out the axis. And now if I try to go below this, you can see that I'm confined to this margin over here. And the reason why this is happening is because these two divisions having the class cube are inside another division. So if I say style border colon 1 pixel solid black, now you can see the division which is enclosing these cubes. So I cannot go beyond that. You can see. So this is the actual margin, I suppose. That's why I'm not able to touch this line or the border of the parent division. Let me try to remove that margin. Okay, yeah, there you go. Now you can see I can only be confined into this division. I cannot go outside this division because in the options we have specified containment is parent. I guess another value is document. I'm not sure. Yeah, so the document is the entire screen that is visible right now, and I cannot go beyond that if I mention it as document. So typically it is wrapped inside parent only. Let's comment this out. Let's see what other options we have. So these are two more options. The first one is cursor of grabbing. So when you actually try to drag this cube, you can see that the cursor icon changes and you see a hand which is grabbing that cube. So this looks more better, right? And you can also see that the opacity is changing when I'm dragging it. It is becoming 0.5. So that is that second option of opacity 0.5. So this makes it more interactive and this makes the user understand, okay, you have held the element and you are trying to drag it. That's why the opacity has changed and the cursor icon has also changed. Now the last three properties or options you can say is grid, snap and snap tolerance. So this grid, basically what it does is it creates an imaginary grid of 300 by 300 pixel. So after every 300 pixel on the x-axis and after every 300 pixel on the y-axis, the cubes will stop. So you can drag these cubes only in those intervals. So if I try to drag it, you can see it will go 300 pixel only and then it will move 300 pixel only and go more 300 pixel to the right or left wherever I'm dragging. But there is no in between movement. It is directly snapping 300 pixels. Similarly on the y-axis also it will go 300 pixel down, 300 pixel down, 300 pixel down and so on. Okay. So that is the grid property. In the style I'm actually gonna add the margin. Now the snap property actually makes the cubes or makes the elements stick to each other whenever they are closer to each other. Okay, so let me just first comment this grid property. We don't want this grid. So now if you see, if I come closer to any element, it is sticking to it. And this is only applicable to all those which have this draggable feature. And the next property or the next option is snap tolerance. So this snap tolerance is in pixels. And what it states that is, it is the minimum distance required between the two draggable objects for snapping to happen. Okay. So if cube 1 and cube 2 come in close to 30 pixels or less than 30 pixels, immediately the cube 1 will snap to cube 2. You can see that snapping is happening. Now I can increase this snap tolerance to 100 pixel. And now what will happen is if I am 100 pixel far from cube 2, even then it will snap and stick together. You can see so you can see this is the distance at which the snapping is happening. So this is that snap tolerance, and when you say snap true, it means that the two or any number of elements, whoever are draggable, will stick to each other after they cross a minimum range. So typically it is very less. Let's keep it 20. And this helps actually to make proper alignments between draggable objects. If you are dragging it closer, so you can see it is exactly aligning itself. You can have many such cubes and then probably you can space them properly with the use of snapping if you're creating some interactive game or something like that. So that snapping will help you a lot. Okay, so these were some important options which come along with the draggable interaction. You can add more of these cubes. You can add images also. So we applied this draggable to this division, but this draggable can be applied to h2 tag. It can be applied to images. It can be applied to anything that is visible on the web page, right? So you can go ahead and experiment with that. Just change the selector. So if I change the selector to h2, this h2 tag can be draggable. You can see now I'm dragging this h2. So I hope you understand that this draggable can be applied to any HTML element whichever is visible and whichever is taking some space onto the web page. Okay, so that's it for this video, guys. This was the draggable interaction in jQuery UI. In the next video, we'll see some other interaction. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments how this video was. If you have any ideas for where exactly you're going to be using this draggable interaction, let me know in the comments. Do share it with your friends, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.